Hey folks, here at OSMBTXReviews.com. You're watching a retro review of the BlackBerry Curve Sprint. This is the original BlackBerry Curve that came out around 5 to 6 years ago, and it's a surprisingly powerful smartphone even in today's standards. Of course, back then it was new for the fact that it offered an optical trackpad in place of a trackball navigator, which made web browsing and also in terms of the navigational interface, and made the operating system a lot easier to use. It also offered a reamped QWERTY keyboard, which was still very tactile and easy to press, a better QHD screen. Of course, it still had Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS, and 3G services on Sprint. It offered the 3.5mm headphone jack on the left-hand side, and micro USB for charging, and a hot shortcut key, and the same thing on the right, another shortcut key, 2 volume rockers, and the top, something new that was offered was these easy press media controls, and they took you to the play pause, the back and forth, and also the sleep modes for the music player and the phone in general. The back of the unit housed a 3.0 megapixel fixed focus camera that actually produced pretty decent shots, surprisingly, considering the resolution of the megapixel count. And underneath the back cover, we had access to a micro SD card slot and the battery. As far as battery life for this phone, even back in the day, it wasn't that great, but it would last around 2 days before I had to recharge it with constant usage on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and 3G wireless. But as far as the phone is concerned, it's pretty nicely designed with like the chrome edging. It's a pretty reflective device, but it's surprisingly lightweight. As are most BlackBerry handhelds, this one weighs next to nothing, so it's great on the jeans pockets when you're taking it with you. Very small, very comfortable to hold, yet still maintains a pretty premium feel overall. The QWERTY keyboard on the front is nicely designed. It's tactile, the keys are risen above the surface of the phone, and they are very easy to press, even though they are slightly small. They are very tactile, and in terms of typing out experiences, even with a predictive text turned on, the keyboard experience is still far superior with any other phone out there in terms of Android or any other operating system. BlackBerry is still the king of making QWERTY keyboards, and this is no exception. Writing out messages, MMS text messages, emails, so on and so forth, office editing is still very, very easy to use even today. The interesting thing about this phone is that as far as web browsing experience with the device, it takes you to the mobile sites of YouTube, for example, and even in today's standards, without updating the video, you can see how YouTube still works very well, which is very nice, and optical trackpad still is pretty responsive. So we searched up OS reviews, and if we wanted to watch that video, I'm going to tap on it. Over Wi-Fi, the actual speeds of the phone are still actually relatively fast. And you can see that the video has actually launched, and the resolution is not bad at all. And it's not a bad YouTube video player even in today's standards, which is pretty impressive. The web browser is still pretty powerful, which is nice to see, and speeds are respectable. In terms of the operating system and UI, not much has been changed. We have the time, date, and wireless information on the top, and we can drag down here for a universal search bar similar to the iOS and Android versions we have today. So if we search something like OS reviews again, we can either search the Google Web, Pandora, local search, YouTube, and so on and so forth, Twitter, and Facebook. And it works pretty well. It's fast and responsive, and again, the QWERTY keyboard with predictive text is great as well. You have some standard hotkeys in the center here, including an LED and notification light and microphone on the bottom, and we have a standard menu key on the side for switching application and multitasking between the different apps. We also have access to some different talk and end keys and back keys. Now, the main menu drawer has been divided into different sections, including all applications. We have access to favorites, we have access to media, and we can select through these by sliding left and right through the interface. Because we have to go through each individual icon before we can get there, it takes a little bit of time and acclimation between getting into it. As far as the phone is considered, it's very responsive. There haven't been any hiccups at all, so it's a very lucid phone and very responsive and impressive in that department. Call quality is still very strong, and same thing goes with reception. As far as bloatware, Sprint did load this device up with quite a lot of stuff, including Sprint Navigator services for the GPS, but they didn't detract from the experience too much. There weren't any built-in games, but you have all the usuals, including the inbox, universal inbox for the email clients. Pandora radio is on board. We have Facebook on board, some basic calculators and functions for word editing, Yahoo Mail, Gmail, and the like. And overall, it still is a pretty impressive device. As far as web browsing experience is considered, you have access to the BlackBerry Store for downloading more games and apps, and of course, 2 GB were installed on the phone when you got it new. So even in today's standards, the BlackBerry Curve remains a pretty powerful mobile companion. Now you can find it at a street price for around $25 unlocked without a contract, which is very, very cheap. And if you are looking for a phone that won't break the bill and don't care about getting the latest and greatest, it still makes for a pretty good phone and smartphone at that in today's 2014 standards. Thanks for watching this retro review of the BlackBerry Curve Sprint here at OS and VTXTechNews.com.